On you, buddy.
You know what?
Chumlee just hit the pawn shop's biggest jackpot. Austin Lee Russel, better known by his stage name Chumlee, is often known for his bad deals than his good ones. Whatever the situation might be, if you ask anyone, they will tell you Chumlee makes many mistakes, but that isn't always a true scenario. Let's take a look at 6 times Chumlee scored big on Pawn Stars. Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. Number 6. Is it worth the price?
Without calling somebody.
You just bought those?
Yes, I did.
Didn't call anybody and spent over $3,800 on swords.
Samurai swords, also known as katanas, were typically made from a steel called tamahagane, meaning round or precious. Chumlee spent over $3,800 on swords, and he didn't ask anyone about it. After that, he was confronted by the Harrisons for learning the ropes of the swords before handing over a great amount of cash in exchange for them. Rick Harrison made his opinion clear that he wanted to prove Chumlee wrong by bringing in a local swords expert to examine the newly purchased swords and see if they were really worth the price Chumlee laid out. In fact, it all turned out better for Chumlee than expected. The first sword was actually very valuable and even in pretty adequate condition. It was crafted by a well-known fencer a long time ago. The second sword also had proof that it was crafted by another notable swordsman in the late 1400s. But what about the third one? The third sword had a mark claiming it was made by yet another famous person, but it seemed to be forged. Despite this mistake, the entire set was valued at $13,000. And still, Rick didn't really congratulate Chumlee. As he mentioned, it just takes skill to win in a slot machine. Good job, Chumlee. Number 5. Whatever you do, Chumlee, do not sell this samurai sword.
No chips in it, nothing.
Came out perfect, no flaws. It took a little while because I had the best of the best.
Let's talk about Rick's favorite personal sword, which was made in the early 1600s, passed down through a single samurai family over hundreds of years. This katana was carried into battle during World War II. Rick bought the sword for around $16,000 to have it fully restored. He sharply instructed Chumlee and Corey not to sell his finished blade under any circumstances, as it was a special item for him. Rick Harrison instructed his employee, Chumlee, do not screw my sword up. I'm just going to put it on display. The value of the sword was roughly at $35,000 to $40,000. It's all good until a special guest visits the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. Dana White is building a personal weapons room in his Vegas mansion, so he hit up the shop to buy a real combat-used samurai sword. Don't you recognize his name? He's the owner of the UFC. It's not hard to guess, it wouldn't be easy to impress this guy, so Chumlee jumped right in the conversation with Dana saying, I've got just the one for you. White ended up coughing up something akin to the price of a new family car. After some negotiations, Dana offered to buy the katana for $30,000 and also pay another $30,000 for a few other swords that were at sale in the shop. The fact that Rick Harrison didn't want to sell the sword only motivated White. When Rick found out that his sword was sold, he went to have a little chat with its new owner. Oddly enough, that conversation ended up with Dana buying another sword for another $9,000. I love the whole Japanese samurai tradition and the story, and it's a beautiful sword, and I couldn't refuse, so I took that one too, says White. He surely made his collection more valuable and amazing. So, all told, and the business made sense. Not listening to Rick got the store $69,000, but you can bet Rick is still mourning for that sword. Number 4. Tupac's BMW.
I know it's an extremely huge deal, but
I know what you're thinking. Those rims aren't big, but
On September 7, 1996, American hip-hop icon Tupac was shot in Las Vegas. The musician was a passenger in a BMW 750 Li when he was gunned down. The shooting took place while Shakur was being driven by notorious record producer Suge Knight after watching a boxing match at a casino. While Tupac's murder is still unsolved, Pawn Stars is trying to find an owner for the car he was killed in. And Chumlee, he definitely isn't a guy to trust when it comes to car recommendations, but it wasn't the same for the legendary rapper's car. He was the one that found this car. The car has been completely restored to the condition it was in before his death. There is still a small visible indentation where it's believed one of the bullet holes was, but it's hard to tell. Rick got his local appraiser to come in and give the value to the car. It was noted that it could be worth almost $1 million. The men of the show debated on whether or not the car is worth buying. One hand argued that it's a little weird due to the fashion of how the celebrity died. Even though the deal couldn't be done, Rick noted that he had learned something really big from Chumlee that day, which seems to be a pretty rare occasion. He was impressed by Chumlee's history knowledge and acknowledging the value of an item. Number 3, Ford Bronco.
OJ Bronco.
Wow. It is the OJ Bronco.
As we're talking about cars, we would be remiss if we ignored another deal made on Pawn Stars. Rick and Chumlee caught on to the sale of one of the most iconic vehicles in history, and it was O.J. Simpson's Ford Bronco who drove him across Los Angeles during the iconic chase in 1994. The vehicle was seen by millions of people as it was live broadcasted across the nation during his time while he was running from the police. It even came with the exact license plate that was on the car during the chase. Rick even described the Bronco as not just being any SUV, but being the SUV. The seller, Gilbert, who was Simpson's agent at the time of the chase and bought the truck from Cowlings in 1995 for $75,000, requested $1.3 million for the car. But Chumlee wouldn't be Chumlee anymore if he couldn't lower the price to $1,250,000. Harrison told Gilbert he might get that much at an auction, but passed on making the purchase himself. Gilbert even said Simpson is the one person to whom he would not sell the Bronco. The Bronco owner was undeterred. "I'll never sell the Bronco for under $1 million. I know it's worth that. And if it's not, it will be." Number 2, Marvel Comics.
Your man?
Mind if I turn it around?
No, absolutely. It's 40 years old. It was a comic strip printed for the newspapers back in 19...
If you've been collecting comic books since you were a kid, you definitely know who Stan Lee is. The pure entertainment value of storytelling through sequential art can be worthy on its own merits. The comics can inform, persuade, and encourage new behaviors in readers. Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Thanos, Deadpool. If these names are familiar for you, you know what we're gonna talk about. In season 14 of the Pawn Stars show, a customer came in with an enlarged comic book panel, which was given out for promotional reasons, but it was actually signed by 2 comic legends, artist John Romita and the legendary Stan Lee. Yes, we're talking about Stan Lee, who was the creator, executive vice president, and publisher of Marvel Comics. Chumlee got impressed at the very moment he saw the panel, but maybe he thought to put Rick's shoes on and confirm the signatures. He knew that Stan Lee was in town and took the customer to meet him. When they showed him the panels, Stan Lee felt pretty nostalgic and actually recalled him and John signing the panels, proving that it was real. The viewers of the show didn't really like the idea of selling this book after talking to Stan Lee for his respect. But anyways, it was sold and Chumlee got this item for $5,000. Number 1, the potato.
It's a potato, man, but it ain't just a regular potato. This it dates back to the 60s. Martin Luther King got hit with this during his peace riot.
What do you think? What's the weirdest thing sold on Pawn Stars? Don't get yourself tired. It's just a potato. Chumlee has bought many weird items during the show, but the weirdest one that will always be remembered forever is a potato he bought from Sean Price. An American rapper stopped by the gold and silver pawn shop looking to get some cash. According to Price, the potato dated back to the 1960s. The potato, as the tale goes, was thrown at Martin Luther King Jr. during the March of Washington in 1963. The tater was passed down from Prince's uncle. It also had some battle wounds from the violence, 2 large holes, and a giant gash that resembled a smiley face. Prince confidently requested $100,000 for that potato. There's no documentation of the proof that this was indeed a potato that did what he thought it did. Still, Chumlee makes an offer, maybe because he feels sorry for the guy who seems to need some quick cash, so he offered $2.25. And the deal was made. Fortunately, not even he could be this dumb. Okay, but the question is, if this potato was the real one that hit Martin Luther King Jr., would it really be worth that much? $100,000 for a potato? Even for a worthy one? How does a potato even stick around that long? That's an old potato anyway. Doesn't really sound logical. No doubt, this time Rick Harrison would be proud of Chumlee. In the end, the rapper was cool with what he got because even he admitted that everyone can just grab a potato and claim that it's special. So after this, whenever you see a celebrity on Pawn Stars, be warned, it's probably a fake transaction. So which item was your favorite? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on your post notifications so that you never miss a video from us. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. See you next time in the next video. Thanks for watching. Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.